Did you want to see me, Mr. Peterson? Jenkins, yes, come in. Listen, the system has failed in Toledo, and these fools have no idea how to fix it. I need you to go there and get the system back up and running. Okay, but it's Friday. By the time I get there, they'll be closed for the weekend. I told the manager to have someone meet you and be ready to help as much as needed. Peterson took the notepad and tore off the top page. This guy will meet you at the back loading dock and let you inside. I took the notepaper and put it in my pocket. I'll go home now, pack my bag, and then head out. Great! I know I can count on you. When you return, we need to discuss your future. I have big plans for you after Morrison retires. I smiled at Mr. Peterson. Thank you, sir. I look forward to talking with you. Fine. Now get ready and go. I turned and quickly walked back to my desk. Mark. He's sending me to Toledo, so you'll have to cover me for the rest of the day and for any emergencies over the weekend. My colleague nodded. Of course, there's not much going on today, so I can handle it. It sucks that you have to give up your days off. I'm sure Amy won't be happy. As I hurried to my car, I called my wife, Amy. Hey, baby, Peterson is sending me on a rescue mission to Toledo. I head home to grab my bag and hit the road. Dan, tomorrow we are having a picnic at my parents' house. We're supposed to spend the weekend there, remember? My brother and both my sisters will be there with all their children. Damn. I'm sorry. But there's nothing to be done. I have to go. Peterson himself asked me to do this. I'm really sorry. Yes, I bet that's true. Well, the kids and I are at the mall shopping for new swimsuits, so I guess I'll see you Sunday night. I started to apologize, but soon realized that she had already ended the call and I was just talking to myself. I sighed. Alas, things haven't been great between us lately, and now she's really mad at me. We just can't seem to catch a break. Between my work and my activities with the children, we almost never have time alone. We haven't had sex in over 4 weeks, and now that she's mad at me, that doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. Maybe if I get Morrison's job, I can cut my overtime. I pulled into my driveway, parked, and hurried inside. I grabbed a small suitcase and loaded it with a couple of days' worth of casual clothes, grabbed my toiletries, and headed to the car. It's usually about a 2-hour drive to the plant, but I got there just in time to avoid Friday night traffic. It was long past work hours when I pulled into an empty parking lot and headed to the loading dock. When I parked, I pulled out the paper Peterson had given me. I texted Sam Matthews to let him know I had arrived. I walked to the back door and rang the bell loudly. It took a couple of minutes, but the door finally creaked open. Hi, I'm Sam. You must be Mr. Jenkins? I stared at the speaker with my mouth open. Sam was about 5'6", tall, with a mop of auburn hair, green eyes, and an impressive torso that was nicely accentuated by a long-sleeved crew-neck t-shirt. She smiled radiantly at my confused look. Let me guess. You thought Sam would be a guy? I nodded. Yes, this happens all the time. I just never liked Samantha, so I was always called Sam. Sorry for the confusion. No, everything is okay. I extended my hand. I'm Dan Jenkins. Nice to meet you, Sam Matthews. She led me back to the utility room at the far end of the warehouse floor. As I followed her, I couldn't stop staring at her shapely, firm ass swaying back and forth. Luckily, I averted my eyes as we approached the door, and she quickly turned to speak to me. I'm sorry we had to call you, Mr. Jenkins. I've only been working here for 2 months, and Mr. Fuller is on vacation in Europe. I tried to reboot the system, but I kept getting error notifications and then the system shutting down again. Please call me Dan. Is it okay if I call you Sam? She nodded, her beautiful red locks falling around her cute, freckled face. Okay, Dan, do you have any ideas? Sam, this system should have been replaced a long time ago, but management doesn't like to spend money on new equipment. The system can be quite finicky and sensitive to power fluctuations. The day before yesterday, we had a strong storm here and snow began to fall. Okay, let's open it and see what's going on. The system was the controller for all automation units in the warehouse. When she flew out, the conveyors stopped, the picking robots died, and all inventory screens went dark. At one time, it was a state-of-the-art system, but its heyday is long past. This was my third visit to Toledo in the last 5 years. If I get promoted, I will lobby for equipment upgrades. We worked through various parts of the system trying to find the problem. It was not a difficult job, but checking each section for failures was time-consuming. Newer systems had test ports, and some were completely self-monitoring, but not this older system. A couple of hours later, I heard Sam's stomach growl. She grinned. I worked all lunch, and now my stomach is complaining. Do you want to order pizza or something else? Of course, I can always go for pizza. I love pepperoni, but I will eat anything except anchovies. Foo. I don't need fish. Pepperoni is my favorite dish. There's a place down the road that delivers groceries here all the time. I'll give them a call. We worked until about 9 o'clock. We diagnosed a couple of problems, but I knew there were more to discover. Okay, Sam, let's finish this. I'm exhausted and haven't even checked into my hotel yet. Sam stretched, which was quite spectacular, and said, Yeah, me too. Sorry, I need to call an Uber. She finished her phone out of her back pocket and began tapping on the screen. Wait, I can give you a ride home. No need to call an Uber. Really? Uber is a little slow here, so if you don't ask too much, I'll take you up on your offer. No problem. Where do you live? I usually stay at the Hyatt near I-75. Great, my apartment isn't far, so this is a little detour for you. We chatted about what we did today and what we might need for further testing and repairs. I followed Sam's directions and we pulled into a very nice apartment complex. Wow, they look pretty nice. Are they new? Yes, completely new. In fact, I'm the only tenant in my building so far. It might be a little dirty, but would you like to come in and take a look? I looked at my watch. It was almost 10 p.m. No, I would like to see it, but I better get to my hotel. Do you want me to pick you up in the morning? It is good to. My brother has my SUV and I won't get it back until Sunday evening. I'll call you when I'm on my way here, say at 9 Quo. She put a gentle hand on my forearm and squeezed it lightly. Thank you very much. I called Amy as I entered my room. Sorry for calling so late. It was a very long day. I guess I'll be back on Sunday evening. Anyway, the kids are already asleep, so good night. She passed out. Fucking hell. She hung up. I grabbed a $5 bottle of beer from the minibar and plopped down on the bed. I knew she was upset that I was leaving, but I didn't have a choice. What the hell did she expect from me? I had a restless sleep, but managed to get up when the alarm rang. I called Sam and she was standing outside when I got to her apartment. Damn, she looked so good. She was wearing leggings and a short, tight t-shirt. We worked most of the day and finally got everything up and running correctly. I ran a few additional tests and everything was confirmed. Sam was a great help and I was pretty sure she would be able to handle any new challenges. So, are you coming back tonight? No. The whole family went to my relatives for the weekend, so I think I'll be back tomorrow. Great, will you let me buy you dinner? You know, if only as a thank you for showing me how to keep this ancient system running. No, but I'd be happy to treat you to dinner because I have an expense account, I said, and laughed. She agreed and we went to a local steakhouse and had a delicious dinner. She insisted and we ended up sharing a nice bottle of 19 Crimes wine. We drove back to her house and I agreed when she invited me to come over for a nightcap. She opened another bottle of wine and we sat on the sofa. I excused myself and went to the bathroom to call Amy. The phone rang several times and I thought it would go to voicemail, but she answered. The children are playing with their cousins and I won't disturb them. I just wanted to say goodnight to them. No, she passed out. Oh my God, she hung up on me again. What the fuck? I called her back, but this time the message went straight to voicemail. I took a deep breath and tried to pull myself together. I splashed some cold water on my face and took a few more deep breaths. When I returned, Sam was sitting on the sofa. Are you okay? I sighed. Just trying to deal with an angry wife. She wanted me to go to her parents' party, but the boss sent me here. It seems like she was unhappy with me for a while, so now I am very unhappy with her. Oh, Dan, I'm sorry to hear that. Doesn't she understand that this is just part of your job? I tried to explain this to her, but she doesn't want to hear it. She just gets angry and shuts me out. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have talked to you about my family problems. Maybe I should leave. No, please, I want you to stay. Let's have another drink and talk about something else. She grabbed the wine and filled my glass. So, you know about my problems, but what's going on in your life? Well, there's not much to tell here. I ended a long-term relationship about 3 months ago, moved here, and went to work at the factory. I think this is kind of a new chapter in my life. Wouldn't it be too intrusive to ask about your breakup? No. My boyfriend of 2 years got a job in Alabama, and I have no interest in living in Alabama. He accepted the job and simply assumed that I would move there with him. He had a week to make a decision and never got around to asking me what I wanted, so we broke up. I'm sorry. It must have been hard to let him go, but at least you weren't married and didn't think about 2 children, I said with unnecessary bitterness. You're right. We talked about getting engaged, but I'm glad we didn't. I had no idea he could be so self-centered and inconsiderate. I completely broke with it, and now I'm in a new place, with a new job. Well, that's exciting. Have you made any new friends? Nothing that interested me until yesterday when you showed up. Sam quickly raised her hand to her lips. Oh, God, maybe I drank too much wine, she said, blushing. I chuckled. Sam, you've made this trip so much more bearable. I've enjoyed your company the last 2 days. I smiled at her beautiful face, and she blushed again. She put down her glass of wine and moved closer to me. Dan, I've been very lonely here for the last 3 months. These last 2 days have been the most fun of all this time. I know it's wrong, but I'm very attracted to you. Then she leaned over and kissed me. I know I should have pulled away, but I didn't want to. Her lips were soft, and she smelled of lavender. I ran my hands over her arms and pulled her to my chest. She responded by kissing me deeply. I slid my hands down to grab the hem of her shirt and pulled it over her head. Her hands began to unbutton my shirt and then moved to my belt. In a few moments, we were naked, and I was kissing the soft skin of her neck. Please, Dan, please, I need you. I couldn't refuse her. The sex was hot. As soon as I could breathe, I kissed her softly on the lips. Sam, it was fantastic. Oh my God, Dan, I needed this so much. Thank you. I was so afraid that you would reject me. She kissed me deeply and hugged me tightly. Slowly, reality began to come back to me, and I sat down on the couch. I looked at this beautiful young woman as she rose to sit next to me. Sam, we shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. Shh. She pressed her finger to my lips. I didn't do anything I didn't want to do. We're just 2 exhausted friends who needed a little comfort. Thank you, Dan, for giving me a piece of yourself. What happened here tonight will remain only between us. It was a one-time event, and I'm glad it happened. I hugged her, and she asked if I wanted to stay. I knew that if I did, we would make love all night long. I reluctantly got dressed, kissed her goodnight, and went to my hotel. As I lay in bed, a feeling of guilt took over me. I cheated on my wife. I was mad at Amy, and I was horny as hell, and Sam wanted me. God, it felt so good to be deserted by a beautiful young woman, but it felt wrong. Damn, what should I do now? On the way home, I replayed this in my head. Should I tell Amy and ask for forgiveness? If so, when should I tell her? She is already very angry with me. This will definitely push her over the edge. Maybe we should wait and tell her after I'm promoted and our lives are back on track. But then, won't she explode because I hid this from her and didn't tell her right away? What if I just don't tell her? Can I do it? Can I hide this from her? Will I be able to cope with the feeling of guilt? But what happens if she somehow finds out? She will be crushed, just like I would be crushed if she did this to me. Oh my God. What to do? I pulled into my garage, grabbed my bag, and went inside. Amy stood in the kitchen, leaning on the countertop. I dropped my bags and went to her. She looked at me, and a tear rolled down her cheek. I am so sorry. I treated you so badly. I should never have used children to try to hurt you. It was wrong in every way. I told my mom what was going on between us, and she helped me understand that I was being selfish. Oh, Dan, I love you so much. Can you ever forgive me? While she was talking, I stepped towards her and pulled her into my arms. I stroked her and kissed the top of her head. When she finished speaking, I held her at arm's length. I love you too, baby. Let's just forget this weekend even happened and promise each other to never talk about it again. Her pretty face lit up as she nodded in agreement. I picked her up and carried her to our bed. The kids are staying with Mom, so we have the whole night ahead of us, she said with a wide smile. It turns out we had the whole night and the whole morning because I called and Peterson was happy to give me the day off. It's been 25 years since I lost my way, and I've never done it again. We never talked about that weekend or my trip. And although I still feel guilty from time to time, I'm glad I didn't tell her. Subscribe to our channel so that your second chaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.